Now, the meeting between the federal government and the organized labor on Sunday ended in a deadlock as leaders of the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, and Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, that's TUC, rejected the government's offers. Sources at the meeting confirmed the labor leaders rejected President Bola Tinubu's 25,000 naira provisional wage award for low-grade workers to cushion the effect of the removal of the petrol subsidy. The labor leaders told Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Lateef Fagbemi to prepare to take all of them to jail because the government had been threatening them with a court order. President Tinubu, in his Independence Day broadcast, had said his administration is introducing a provisional wage increment to enhance the federal minimum wage without causing undue inflation. The meeting will, however, reconvene at 4 p.m. today. That's Monday, of course. Well, Arise News analyst Dayo Sobowale joins us now for his own perspective on this development. Mr. Sobowale, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure being here.
It's a pleasure.
And it's so nice to see you again.
Of course.
Most welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'm happy to see you.
Great to be back. I'm happy to see you as well.
Okay.
I can't wait for you to let the sparks fly.
Oh, they're about to fly.
Right?
So, Mr. Sobowale, let me move back a bit in case you're going to, let me have it.
Yeah.
What do you make of what's going on? The approach of the government, statements saying they should be prepared to throw all of them into jail. The 25,000 naira, the whole shebang, basically.
I think events have moved beyond that.
Of course.
Because I've read the statement by the Minister of Finance. I'm sorry, Minister of Information. Minister of Information. No, a lengthy statement. I will just dilate on it a bit. No, in the president's speech, he offered 25,000. I think that was offered to Labour at the meeting. But they did not agree, but they agreed on 35,000. They agreed on 35,000. And then, you see, for those who are employed by those in the civil service, they are to be paid 25,000. No, they are to be paid 35,000. Yeah. But 15 million households are to be paid 75,000. That's 25 for 3 months. October to December. And you see, they agreed that the tax on diesel, value-added tax, to be removed, that money will be made available to small-scale industries and those in the informal sector, and a lot of things like that. And those in attendance will see that it's not a matter of labor versus government now, the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Labour, the National Security Advisor. So to me, that's a recipe, an algorithm or amalgam for industrial stability, so that law and order does not break down. So I think Labour should react to that, because that's what I think they are going to do even before the meeting of 4 o'clock today. Labour is to make a presentation on how it is going to react to that. And I think, all things being equal, ceteris paribus, as in economics, that the strike may not go on. Will you not like that?
You're the one being interviewed, so...
Well, Mr. Sobowale, it seems one of the magic figures here is 6 months. Now, we all know...
6 months and 3 months.
6 months and 3 months.
6 months.
Yes.
The government is offering 3 months.
3 months.
Yes.
Now, we know that we're operating at a 25.8% inflation rate. We also know that inflation is dynamic. It's not static. It doesn't stand still. Between now and the next 3 to 6 months, it will continue to eat away at these figures that have been thrown at the people. Now, my question is, what miracle do you think the government is expecting will take place within the next 3 to 6 month time frame that will cancel out all the other factors that are actually causing for people's wages to be eaten away?
Let me counter your observation, although in a way that will further what you have said. You see, in economics, if you have economic problems, financial instability, volatility, and you get a solution. Get me? There's no miracle. You get a solution, it will even take time before things stabilize. Before things stabilize. Get me? Because economic, you are talking of an economy with a consumption pattern, with a production sequence, so that if you stabilize, like you say, you put interest rate, you lower it, or like you mentioned, inflation rate, yes. Even if it is, if you reduce interest rate, either in the bank or increase it, it will not immediately affect what is on the ground. So there is no miracle in economics. You get me? All things be equal, and all things are never equal anyway, because human beings have various tendencies and economic needs and wants. But let us face this issue of impending strike. I think it is being nipped in the bud by what I will call integrative industrial relations or collective bargaining. You see, even though government may have been seen to be slow over time, but with the looming deadline, you can see that they are playing ball and they are serious. It's like the entire cabinet in being involved. Unlike before, Labour was filming that they will go to meetings, they will see people and things like that. So, Labour too must, do its own bit now, carry the message back to its own base. It has shown, it has not been disgraced, it has not been humiliated, it has issued a deadline and a threat, and that has literally frightened government, and government has brought its whole house, almost a cabinet, to talk, albeit at the last minute. So there is some need for us to wait and see what happens between now and tomorrow.
Yeah, Mr. Sobowale, yes. You just said, you talked about the last minute and that the government is taking labor seriously. But what would it not have been potentially safer if we saw more proactive measures being taken by the government as opposed to threats being, being stated and then you see the government having to react? Would it not have been better for the government to have had a more proactive approach? And also, you've also mentioned that we would also have liked to see a cutback in its own expenses. Like, if Nigerians are sacrificing, that should also be witnessed on the part of the government as well. But we've not necessarily seen any of that happen. I didn't say today, of course. I didn't say today. Okay. I didn't say that, that you said it today.
No, I share your concern. Get me? It's like the miracle.
Hoping for.
But you see, if you talk of threat, you must look at the context of the threat. It is Labour that is talking of a threat from government. But government, government does not have the full courage now to invoke the fact that there is a court order asking Labour not to go on strike. Because that's what I call integrative collective bargaining. In integrative collective, you see, there is collaboration, there is mutual trust. You don't want to disgrace the other side. So it's a win-win situation. I think that is the stage at which we are now. The Minister of Finance, all the people will take decisions in terms of money, in terms of distribution, in terms of even the informal economy. You get me? Yeah, you talk of 50 million households. The minister in charge was there. So it's serious business on the part of government. And there is one fine statement in the statement, one fine sentence in the statement that government issued. It said you can only talk with workers when they are at work, not while they are on strike. So let's be hopeful of that.
And I have a question. I just want to put you in the hot seat for a moment. If you are representing Labour right now, would you take this deal as it looks currently?
I will.
Why?
And I'll tell you why. A bird in hand is not two in the bush. That is what integrative bargaining is all about. You have what you... Okay, see what is happening in the US. They wanted to close government. Get me? But at the end of the day, the two adversaries joined hands, you get me, and made a small deal, temporary one for them to move on. That is what collective bargaining meaningful, not destructive one. And I think we are beyond any type of collective bargaining that will just be arbitrary, you get me, and overindulgent. I don't think we are beyond that. Given the quality, caliber of representation on both sides, I mean, the die is cast, there must be industrial stability. And hopefully the strike will not go on.
Hopefully.
Yes.
But Mr. Sobowale, let's look at the government that's supposed to, that owes us an explanation, more or less. When you look at how it's approached the situation from day one, subsidy has gone up until now. How would you rewrite history if you could? How would you have said that this situation should have been approached?
A mistake was made. And I think literally everybody knew that. Subsidy is gone. Obviously, there were not plans on the ground to cushion the effect of that. But we have lived through it. Get me? And the heavens have not fallen.
Are you sure?
Or are you hoping they will fall?
I'm not hoping, but are you sure they haven't fallen?
No. Yeah, you see, this is a vast nation that has seen so many difficulties, and it is not easy for people to lead them arbitrarily. Get me? Before we fall on the precipice, something unexpected, something you can call an unexpected consequence will happen somewhere, which is what is happening now. The government may have been slow before, and the followership of Labour may have thought they were lackadaisical and not strong enough. But then, the ultimatum worked. Government is on its toes. And Labour rejected the 25,000, and they're talking of 25,000. That's meaningful negotiation.
Mr. Sobowale, are we not digging ourselves deeper? Because we've removed money from the fuel subsidy, and now we're taking that same money to a different group of people, but still for the purposes of consumption. This money is not going towards development, it's not going towards production, it's not being invested in the economy in any way. It's still being consumed in one form or another. So are we not just moving from the pot to the frying pan? Because
no way. You have mixed up the issues. These are palliatives. Get me? Investment is a long-term issue. Palliatives.
How do we keep people alive in the long term?
By making sure that they have means to survive, which is what is. If you want to keep people alive in the long term, you invest. But investment in infrastructure, education, the dividends don't come overnight. It takes time to germinate and yield results that will pull the economy out of the doldrums. And I tell you that if you do not act in time, you get me? Even if you act now, like Cynthia once, like yesterday, everything is done. You see that economically, the reverberation, the effect, it's not immediate. It will take time. So the sooner we'll talk, negotiate, create a stable political climate to talk. Because, negotiations, peace, prosperity can only take place in a peaceful environment. The sooner people realize that, the better. That's what I pray for.
Pray for that too, Sam.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to have you here with us, Arise News analyst, Mr. Dayo. Thank you.